Alrighty, this is gonna be part 9 of Tales of Destiny Director's Cut. Nothing interesting happened in the dungeon, so I just ran through it. Stan says, "Is this the device that will enhance the Swordians?" Clemente says, "Yes, let's hope it works properly." Philia, go to the control panel in front of you. Philia says, "Okay." Atwhite says, "I don't think it's broken. We've passed the first hurdle." Dimlo says, "Let's get started. First, you must put the Swordians in each of the chambers." Stan says, "Okay." The swords are screaming. Dimlo says, "Don't shut it down." Philia says, "Is everything okay?" Urti says, "What do you think? I guess we'll have to wait and see." Stan says, "Hold on." "Are you alright?" "Yes, it worked somehow. Our physical enhancements are now complete." "You don't look any different." "What's inside is something else. The rigidity of the blade, the efficiency of energy conversion, everything is much improved." Stan says, "I guess we're next." Dimlo says, "That's right. As soon as you are ready, you may enter the chambers with us." Cool, whatever. Get in there. Clemente says, "From now on our consciousness will travel to a place that is of this world and not of this world. This is where we will face our final test." Philia says, "What happens if we fail?" Igtino says, "Then you'll die." Atwhite says, "Even if there is no physical damage, your consciousness will be completely lost." Ruti says, "It's a one-shot deal." Dimlo says, "Stan, you said you wanted to get closer to my former master." Stan says, "I know." Dimlo says, "If you keep talking like that, you're not gonna make it back alive. If you're... Okay, it's not enough to get close. If you're gonna do this, you have to go beyond." Stan says, "Alright." Clemente says, "Get in the chamber, bitch." Woodrow says, "Chelsea, turn it on." "Turn me on." Mary says, "I'm sure you guys will be fine." Kongman says, "You're coming back." Johnny says, "Good luck." Well, here we go. Shaboom bang. That is very bright. Dimlo says, "Stan, I must apologize to you." "For what?" "Up to now, all I've done is question whether you were ready or not, when in reality I should have been asking myself. If the Master and Swordian are in sync, they are sure to succeed." Stan says, "So if we were the same person, there wouldn't be any problem?" Dimlo says, "Well, if that were the case, our every move would be predictable. Indeed, there are times when that simply doesn't work, like now, for instance. Riker must have realized this. He must have wanted us to strengthen ourselves more than just physically. Of course, the same is expected of you as well as the other Swordian masters." Dimlo says, "I believe he wanted us to reach our full potential as quickly as possible." Stan says, "You know, I've been thinking about something. If the Swordian and the Master are the same person, it's kinda like 1 times 1, right? So no matter how you do it, you always end up with 1. But if different people work together, the possibilities are endless. Between the two of us, I know we can do it." Dimlo says, "That's right." Stan says, "We will overcome the final trial together." Dimlo says, "I will need your strength. Will you fight us alongside me?" Stan says, "Of course." "Then it is time," says Dimlos. Time for Gay Movie 6. Question mark says, "You've done well to come here, Stan." Stan says, "I had a feeling we'd meet like this someday." "I see, then there is no need for me to give you my name." Dimlos, "You've a keen eye. Good, it seems you are prepared." Stan says, "Definitely." "And what of the Swordian version?" "There's no need to ask. I am Dimlos, the Swordian wielded by Stan. To fight alongside my master, Stan, and to ensure his victory, that is my proud duty." Dimlo says, "Well said. I will judge your worthiness myself." Show me that you can defeat me with your combined power. Let us begin. Stab that hoe. Spamming time. Dimlo says, you fought well, victory is yours. Stan says, Ruti, Philia, Woodrow. Looks like we all came through somehow. Dimlo says, there's nothing left for you to fear. Clemente says, you have proven yourselves to be good partners, and an even better team. We entrust this world to you. With this power, we ask that you clear a path to the future. We must now say farewell to you, our other selves, our dear friends from 1,000 years ago. Stan says, thank you, you can count on us. We will not fail you, we will fulfill our duty. Heh, they made it duty. Chelsea says, Woodrow, are you okay? You can understand me, right, Ruti? Says Mary. Kongman says, hang on, Philia. Johnny says, look like you made it through in one piece. Stan says, you understand? Johnny says, yeah, you look different. It's like I've been blown away for real. They look exactly the same now. Philia says, thank you for your concern. We managed to achieve our goal safely. Woodrow says, we were not fighting just us, were we? The thought of our friends wishing for our return gave us strength as we faced our ordeal. Chelsea says, I see my prayers have been answered. Stan says, we've beaten the final test. Dimlo says, that's right, you've done well. Stan says, alright, let's keep going. This time I'm gonna beat McTran. Dimlo says, that's the spirit. Stan says, I feel like we could do anything right now. Yeah, like I can even break the Eye of Atimony. Dimlo says, that's not what I'm talking about. You're getting carried away. This is what happens when you're not careful. Ruti says, come to think of it, we're a strange group of people, aren't we? After all, we are a large group of 12 people, and the ones who are there are all weird. Ruti says, well, I guess I know who's the best of them all. Okay. Johnny says, well, now that we're getting into the swing of things, let's go to our next destination. Woodrow says, that's right. Philia says, it's Junkland. Okie dokie. It's west of Calvales. Let's get the truck out of here. Stan says, this is junk land. Where in this city can I get the Bercelium? Ruti says, ask someone. Stan says, or maybe screams rather, where is the Bercelium? Dimlo says, it's a metal with a unique blue luster. Woodrow says, I've heard that the Calvaless were reclusive, but I hadn't realized how far. Stan says, please listen to me, we need your help. The world has become what it is because of Mictran. He blacked out the sky with the outer shell. We must defeat him and restore the world to normal. And for that we need Bercelium. Please help us. No one, huh? Ruti says, we'll have to take care of it ourselves. Ictenos says, industrial waste from long ago must have accumulated into a pile. Woodrow says, let's focus on the mountain. Stan says, right, let's go. Trash Mountain. Oopsie. 10 blocks. Going to die, aren't we? These people seem really upbeat. Stan says, this is a big pile of trash, and we'll be here scavenging, says Ruti. Dimlo says, don't put it down, there could be treasure. Woodrow says, let's split up and search the area. Philia says, I'll do my best. Ruti says, is the environment too much for you here, Philia? Philia says, I'll be fine. Stan says, why don't you take it easy on yourself? We found some beautiful rocks. Ruti says it's yellow. What the hell is it good for? Mary says, earrings. Chelsea says, Lord Woodrow, I'm filthy from the muddy water. Ruti says, yeah, we'll get cleaned up later. For now, look for the rock or whatever. Woodrow says, it looks like Kongman got trapped underneath the trash. Ruti says, Kongman, no one will be sad when you die, okay? Ruti says, Johnny, stop singing and move those hands. Dimlo says, I don't see anything that looks like it here. Woodrow says, this is troubling. Clemente says, I don't think Riker would specify the place without reason. Atwhite says, but we couldn't find it. Ictenos says, no matter how much we strengthen the Sordians, if we can't fix the Draconis. Philia says, I can't do. Oh no, what did I just say? Ruti says, please rest outside the city, Philia. Philia says, if I do that, I won't be able to apologize. Ruti says, you seem to be in dire straits. Stan says, are you... ... The young person says, how can you people be so dedicated? Do you really think you can handle it? Stan says, that's what I'm thinking. If we work together, we can surely bring the world back to the way it was. Are any of those people us Calvaless? Says the young person. Stan says, of course the Calvaless people are included. We're all people of the same planet. The young person says, there are caves all over the place. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for there, but it won't be easy. They're filled with toxic gas. Take the neutralizer. As long as it works, you won't get gassed. Stan says, why are you helping us? The young person says, I don't want you to think that all people in Calvaless are the same. Some of us want to change the future ourselves, like me. Stan says, thank you. The person says, you can thank me later, but get going. You don't want to get in trouble if the others find you. Stan says, got it. Okie doke. Time to suckle my cock. Oh yeah. Get out of town if you have no business here. Our misery isn't a freak show. Buy more of those neutralizer things. Get them all. I'm gonna get rid of some other stuff though. fine. Actually, let me see if I'm all maxed out on lens again, too. Says, the gas is definitely thick, we can't stay here very long. Stan says we better get what we're looking for and get out of here. Philia says, let's get going quickly. Stan says, okay. Woodrow says, let's move fast. This area is filled with gas. Use a neutralizer? I say yes. This was supposed to make that go away, but whatever. Looks like a gas vent. Is gas flammable? Yeah, another neutralizer. Some rough lens. Some orange liquid. I say yes. Alright. So much junk everywhere. No wonder they call it Trash Mountain. Looks like we got a life bottle. Dispel material. Doesn't appear that there's anything else. So we still have left and right to explore. Just right, I think. Oh my, big place. Left, so I can go down or right. lots and lots and lots of those, so happy to see that. Got an elixir. Alright, let's check up here. Food in this poisoned hellhole. Hilarious. Alright. Kinda wanted to check that other spot. I'll go ahead, I guess. Yes, I did. We're now in basement 2. Alright, it looks like I figured out what happened. I missed something on the first floor. Ruti says, I think there's some beryllium down there. See the blue? Ignito says, no doubt we found it. Philia says, let's hurry up and collect it. Stan says, Philia, you're awfully active. Dimlo says, I guess the current environment is too painful. Ruti says, hey, Philia. Philia says, huh? No. More evil clouds. Woodrow says we managed to fight them off. Clemente says, oh my. Philia says, what's wrong with it? Ruti says, don't tell me it's fake. Clemente says, I'm sure it's real. Woodrow says, is it not enough? Clemente says, to fully repair the Draconis, we need more. Stan says, let's look around carefully. Ruti says, I don't see any more. Philia says, oh my god. Stan says, what do we do now? Atwhite says, we'll have to look for more of it elsewhere. Dimlo says, why don't we get outside first? We can talk about it later. Stan says, alright. The person says, how did it go? Stan says, there was some, but not enough. The young person says, Dad. The man says, why'd you let them in Trash Mountain? Stan says, please don't blame him. He only did as we asked. The man says, look over there. Stan says, that was Belcelium. The man says, strangers shouldn't be so unskilled at searching. Please take it. The person says, what's going on, Dad? The man says, we want to change the future just as much as you do. It's like you've been listening to me, says the young man. Clemente says, good, I'm sure that'll be enough. Stan says, thank you, we'll never forget. Woodrow says, let's get back on with it and bring back the ore. Stan says, thanks so much, you've been a great help. He says, we'll leave the rest to you. Stan says, okay, let's go back to the Draconis. The mass has been collected of ore. Now we have to go back to Dalal Shield. Yipply dock. Let's get the fuck out of this shithole. Southeast, huh? Lumina Draconis. The technician says, I think we can fix their Draconis. Stan says, good. Dimlo says, even if the Draconis is fixed, you should only use it when going up. The smaller one is sufficient for daily travel. Stan says, that's right, I don't want anything to happen to it, so let's take good care of it. Our technician says, Reynolds has a message for you, please talk to him at the castle. Okay. He couldn't just be there. Be there, be square. Oh, well, the castle's pretty close. Didn't really need to get in that thing, I guess. Oh yeah, he's like over this way. Stan says, wow, this is the lens cannon, it's pretty big. Reynolds says, we're gonna shoot through the hole, it's the only way. Philia says, it seems the energy source is coming along nicely. Ruti says, I wonder how much I'd get for selling all this. Atwhite says, Ruti, you don't need to be so attached to those anymore, right? I know, but seeing it gets my treasure sense tingling. I guess it's the nature of an excellent hunter. Walt says, hey bro, long time no see. Stan says, it's you. Walt says, it's Walt from Harmetz. You don't have to pretend to remember. I've heard lots about you, you've been doing well. Stan says, it's not like I'm playing an essential role, I'm just trying to do my best. Walt says, same here, we could use the help. Hey guys. Walt says, I've gathered all the lens in Harmetz. Please use them. Stan says, thanks, you're a great guy. Walt says, I'm just trying to be a good example. Stan says, Walt. Walt says, it's thanks to you that I'm here now. Reynolds says, can I have a word with you? Woodrow says, indeed, Reynolds, you had something to tell us? Actually, the amount of lens we have is not enough. Ruti says, even with this much? Reynolds says, we're gonna need 3 or 4 times what we have. Ruti says, I'm starting to feel lightheaded. Walt says, it's gonna be nice and loud, ain't it? After all, fireworks have to be flashy. Woodrow says, it's impossible for Senegal to produce that much. Reynolds says, hence my favor, can you go around the world and gather the lens? Sorry to be asking, but... Stan says, no problem, I'll help out with anything. Reynolds says, thanks, that's really kind of you. We've already requested other countries to gather the lens in their major cities. He names 4 cities. Woodrow says, should we go in that order? He says, no, it's up to you. Stan says, it'll be easy to discuss, we'll head there soon. Okay. So I probably just go to the glowy parts on the map to get all the lens, I guess. Alright, let me in my freaking dragon. Alright, we're going here first, because I can see it. Like, over the city or something. Darzan says, Your Majesty, I'm glad you're safe. I've collected the lens. I have a feeling they're just all gonna kind of say the same stuff over and over again. Like, what else? Let's make it expeditious, my bitches. Where the fuck we going? Where the fuck is the bug spot? I need to find the fucking lens. magnifying blade. I need to get some lens, man. That lens. Hot pocket. Hey, here's the lens. Thanks. Gotta love those fetch quests. They tickle my breasts, those fetch quests. I don't think I have breasts, but whatever. Alright. That's all the lens that we have. Alright, cool, bye. I'm missing one more set of that shit. I didn't want to go on the fucking town. Goddamn fucking bastard. Oh, fucking course. Actually, let me double check that I actually got it. Okay. Board. There we go. Okay, cool. Anyways, I think we're set. Set it and forget it. We're going back to what's in town. Yep. That was less annoying than I thought. Why are you fucking whistling, Dixie? Reynolds says this is it. Stan says we retrieved the lens. Reynolds says thanks for your help. Sorry for the trouble. Woodrow says looks like you made a lot of progress. Reynolds says it's finished. Stan says that's great. Reynolds says I'd really prefer to increase the efficiency of the energy conversion. That way we could increase the energy output. Philia says is what we have not enough? Reynolds says don't worry, everyone's been collecting lens for me. I'm sure we can shoot through the outer shell. Ruti says by the way, doesn't matter where in the outer shell that you shoot it. Reynolds says I've already decided where to aim. I'll let you know when we start the mission. Stan says well, I'm looking forward to it. Woodrow says well then, let us report back to His Majesty once more. Stan says yeah. Reynolds says fun, huh? The king says thank you for all your hard work. The cannon has been completed and everything seems to be ready. We'll launch the operation tomorrow morning. The king says, therefore, I'd like you to get a good night's rest. I've arranged for you to stay at the inn. I know you really want to go back to your homeland. We don't have time, I'm sorry. Woodrow says, thank you for your concern, but don't worry about it. Johnny says, let's get to the city first. I'm afraid to stand in front of the throne and talk. I don't know what he's saying. Let's head into town. I've already booked a room. Didn't the king arrange for us to stay? I don't. My eyes are tired. Okay, that just appears to be some comic relief. Ruti says, I feel like the decisive battle is finally happening. Philia says, cry or laugh, tomorrow is the last day. Woodrow says, tomorrow. Mary says, the day has finally come. Kongman says, as long as I'm around, we'll win. Gahahaha. Chelsea says, I'm getting kind of nervous, bitch. Johnny says, since we're on a roll, how about some free time until tomorrow morning? Stan says, does that mean we're gonna separate? Johnny says, yes, in times like these, we all have to do our own work, don't we? For example, write a letter to those you left behind in your country. You can confess your feelings to someone that needs to hear it. Woodrow says, then I will write a letter. Chelsea says, I will do a victory spell. Mary says, I wanted to take care of the weapons. Kongman says, I'm going to drink my special stamina drink and get a good night's sleep. Johnny says, oh, come on. Are they all like that? They're not a very sexy bunch, are they? Well, each of us is free to do whatever you want, bitch. Ruti says, I think I'll go for a little walk. Stan, what about you? Stan says, I'm going to go to bed. Ruti says, oh my god, Stan. Stan says, it's night. Kongman says, it's always night right now, though. Stan says, the king told us to sleep it off and get ready. Chelsea says, get some rest, he said. Ruti says, I see. As expected, the country folk of Fitzgald want to remain healthy. Stan says, what are you angry about, bitch? Ruti says, nothing. And walks away. Johnny says, as usual, this is nonsense. Things are all about timing. If you don't do what you need to do when you need to do it, you may never get another chance to do it, alright? Stan says, what we need to do? Johnny says, that's all I have to say about that. Figure out the rest on your own. Let's break it up here. Those of you who feel like resting will go to the inn, alright? Alright, if you need a break, go to the inn. Okay, they might have some new stuff here. But I don't have my people in my party, so I don't know what I should buy. Alright. We're just gonna sleep. Dimlo says, are you too awake to sleep? Stan says, yeah. What am I supposed to do? You need to regain your strength. Don't look at me to give you the answers that Johnny tried to get you to discern for yourself, says the sword. Kongman says, was it okay for you to say that to Stan earlier? Johnny says, I didn't want to be too in a hurry to live because you're too driven by a sense of mission. It's okay to have an object of obsession close at hand. Kongman says, makes sense. Johnny says, but in reality, they may just be amused. Philia overhears that and leaves. Maybe it was a mistake not to see that there was another factor at play, says Johnny. Kongman says, another element. Johnny shrugs. Stan says, Philia. Philia says, I apologize for my absence. I was wondering if I could talk to you. Stan says, Philia? Philia says, I'm gonna try and summon up a little courage. Stan, I'm not sure if you know, but I know what to do. Just now, while you were talking with me, it clicked. Someone who will always be in Stan's mind. That's the answer. The rest, I don't have to tell you, do I? Stan says, thanks, I'll be back in a bit. Clemente says, was that the right thing to do? Philia says, both of you are insensitive and clumsy. If I don't push you like this, you won't be able to help yourself. Clemente says, you're also clumsy. Philia says, it's okay. This is the position I have chosen to take. I didn't know when I was going to do it. Clemente says, it's not a good spot to be in, but I think you're a good person. Philia says, you just realized that? It's so obvious. What do I need to do now? I don't know. Knock, knock, motherfucker! The game is gonna make me find Ruti, I would assume. But I hate her. I think she's a bitch. I don't like her at all. She should go fuck herself with her knuckles. Then she can be fuckles. That's right. You heard me. this you? We got poor. Daddy has to confess his fake love for you that he didn't know he had. I'm merely doing as I was told. Knock knock, bitches. Wake the fuck up. Where the fuck's Root Tea? My slut. I need to tell her about what I want to do to her butt. Where the fuck did she go? Where the fuck did she go? God. Is she gonna hide in the most annoying place possible? Isn't there a gay option? Where the fuck did this bitch go? Where the fuck is she hiding? She's literally nowhere to be found. Is that you, bitch? Prison? You in prison, bitch? Where have you gone? Where the fuck did she go? I don't fucking know where the fuck she is. Oh my fucking god, where the fuck did she go? Oh, there she is. Stan says, Ruti. Ruti says, I thought you were asleep. Stan says, I thought if I came here that I would see you. Ruti says, that's a pretty good line. You just barely passed, didn't you? Stan says, what is it? Ruti says, it's about your future plans. What are you gonna do when the fight's over? I'm thinking of going on another trip, says Stan. I've still got a lot to learn, you know? Ruti says, I see. They both sit there in awkward silence. Ruti says, we're all tied together by some weird fate, huh? Stan says, I think you might be right. Ruti says, you know, you were almost executed when you were caught hiding on the Draconis. Stan says, you bring up an old story. That time a monster lunged to attack me unexpectedly and you saved me. Ruti says, I did do that, didn't I? Ruti says, you're so dumb, I just had to help you out. Stan says, Ruti, you saved my life. Ruti says, when I think about it, a lot of things have happened since then, haven't they? Stan says, yeah. Ruti says, a lot of things. But it ends tomorrow. This is the last time I'll ever have to deal with you. It'll be such a relief. Stan says, Ruti, you know what? You make my pixelated boner hard, and I really want to stuff it inside you so that we can have a kid named Kyle who's the star of Tales of Destiny 2, bitch. Actually what he said is, when this battle is over, why don't we take a trip? How about it? Ruti says, are you hitting on me? Stan says, what? Is that what it's supposed to be like? I just wanted you to be there with me, that's all. I hope we can stand in the same place, walk in the same direction, and look at the same sky. Ruti says, that's why in this world that kind of thing is called hitting on someone. Stan says, I didn't know. Ruti says, don't freak out after you say it, you're so boring. But I guess that's just who you are. Stan says, what's your answer? Ruti says, do you really want to know? Stan says, sure. Ruti says, my answer is, don't tell anyone. What the hell? That's not fair. Ruti says, I'm not obligated to answer. What do you want me to do? Stan says, that's true, I guess. Ruti says, let's put a pin in that. I'll tell you when we get back alive. Are you going to pout? Stan says, I'm not pouting. Ruti says, damn you, you can't help it. Ruti says, okay, it's not enough to win tomorrow. That's just the way it has to be. We're gonna win, and we're gonna come back alive, all of us, together. Understood. You want to hear my answer, don't you? Then survive whatever it takes. Stan says, Ruti, you're the one. Now that you've said it, I promise you. Ruti says, it's obvious. I'm the one, remember? If you're not, I'm not gonna die even if you kill me. Stan says, I promise. Ruti says, I promise. I guess that's it for now. Right. Now that we have something to look forward to later, let's get back to the others, shall we? Stan says, where is everyone? Ruti says they're probably gathering at the bar. It's hard to sleep at a time like this. Ruti has returned to the party. Let's go back to the inn, I guess. Meow. You know what I'm in love with? The spinning meat pile. It's a pile of meat that looks and smells delicious. Anyways, where the fuck is the inn? Oh, the Straits. Gives a shit. It'd be better if they just died. Well, I guess we gotta talk to the people that are over here. I'm straight. I'm also straight. Thanks, Japan, for 30 years of ignoring the existence of gay people. Jesus. Okay, I guess everyone's just getting drunk. Chelsea tries to grab our ass. When they told us what the final mission would be, I wondered how it would work out. We all have great masters. We'll figure it out. At times, Nusaira. What we have to do tomorrow, you know it has to be done, don't you? To fight Mictran and win. We're not gonna let it happen again. And one other thing, the safe return of our masters. You don't need to say that again. Let us fulfill our mission as Swordians and the meaning of our existence. No matter what. I guess so. Right. It'll all be over tomorrow. We've only heard that 83 times. Dimlo says you're awake. Stan says, you gotta be on a day like this. Let's go to the lens cannon. Dimlo says that's right. It's time to begin the operation. Let's go to the lens cannon. Bitch. No, 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 no. Reynolds says it's here. Preparations for the integrated lens cannon are well underway. The king says, I just received a report that repairs for the Draconis have finished. The king says you can fly at any time. Reynolds says we are now entering the final sequence for the firing. Setting integrated lens cannon sights. Target Radversol. Dimlo says why there. Stan says why. Reynolds says take a good look at the hull. See those blue hemisphere things? They're energy absorbers. Clemente says no way. Reynolds says they'll absorb the energy when the lens cannon hits the outer shell. However, the visible parts of Radisol are unaffected by the absorbers, so the more reliable way is to shoot through that area. Stan says, but what if Riker's still alive? Stan says Radversol is still around, so it's possible, right? Reynolds says, in that case, he wouldn't be unharmed. The entire core crystal would blow up. Atwhite says that means death for him. Stan says, is there another way? Reynolds says, if there was one, I'd choose it. Reynolds says, it's why I wanted to increase the power output. I wanted to aim anywhere, but given the cannon's durability, we're at our limit. Riker says, don't blame yourself, Reynolds, you've done well. Clemente says, you're still alive? Riker says, I managed to restore the communication function. Still, the situation is pretty precarious. Don't hold back, says Riker. That's the solution I came up with after analyzing all the information that I had. Dimlo says, Riker. Riker says, the future of the world rests in your hands. Don't hesitate to do what you have to do. Dimlo says, Stan, carry out Riker's wishes. Bitches. Stan says, I understand, Mr. Reynolds. I'm counting on you. Reynolds says, Your Majesty, please announce the launch of the mission. The king says, with the fate of the world at stake, we will now launch our final operation. Integrated lens cannon. Prepare to fire. Beep, pop, boop. Explosion. Reynolds says, energy charge rate at 80%, integrated lens circuit connection online. Generator pressure rising. Prepare to fire the integrated lens cannon. All personnel, put on anti-shock and flash protection. The final countdown starts. Integrated lens cannon, fire. Shablamo. Oh yeah. Look at that juicy bullet. Explosion. Oh yeah, we did it. Phileas says, that's our beacon of hope. Woodrow says, Riker, this light will never replace the shining beacon that you were. Ruti says, we're gonna make that light bigger and everlasting by our own hands. Stan says, everyone, let's get to the Diecroft. It's the final battle. Alright, motherfuckers. Alright, go to shiny object. Oh yes, there it is. Stan says, Draconis, launch, target, Diecroft. It made a flap. Oh yeah, put that big head in that gaping hole. Oh, juicy. Dimlo says, we've arrived. Ruti says, did you guys see that? Stan says, oh my god. Woodrow says, I had to see it to believe it. Never thought the top of the outer shell was covered in green. Clemente says, this must be another effect of the energy absorber. It seems that things are progressing much faster than we expected. Phileas says, that is the new world that Migtran is aiming for, isn't it? Igtino says, yes, a world we can never admit to. Stan says, let's put an end to all of this by our own hands. Stan says, wait for me, Migtran. Migtran! No, Migtran! Migtran! Alright, this is going to be the last part of Part 9. We are going to, after I don't know how many hours of running through this dungeon, fight the final boss. Oh my god. Stan says, what is this room? There's people buried in the walls. Ruti says, are they coffins? Does that mean they're all dead? Phileas says, could these people be? Woodrow says, celestial beings? Migtran says, don't touch them. I will not allow you to harm my people. Stan says, Migtran. Migtran says, you've come this far at last, ground forces. We'll settle this once and for all. Yes, in front of the Eye of Atimony, with whom you also have a deep connection. Dimlo says, the Eye of Atimony. Stan says, I wish I could. Oh, there better not be more of this dungeon. I will fucking lose my mind. There's the Eye, and there's McDouchebag. Woodrow says, the Eye of Atimony, more glamorous than ever. Migtran says, have you seen this land? A beautiful, lush green world. That's the true nature of the heavenly realm. It cannot be compared to the filthy earth. My brother, soon the resurrection of the heavens will be upon us. Stan says, the world belongs to everyone. I won't let this fake earth you've created take all of it. Migtran says, the people of the earth are talking. Let's end this. Who shall prevail, the Celestials or the Earthlings? Let's settle this once and for all. Stan says, let's go, Migtran. With Kronos, I guess. Mictran says, "This is ridiculous, that I, the King of Heaven." Dimlos says, "This is our true power." Mictran says, "Damn you. I will not be defeated. I will not lose to the likes of you." So saith Mictran. Mictran says, "I have antimony, give me your power." Clemente says, "Are you trying to say the same thing as Greybum? Don't you know the consequences?" Atwhite says, "It's fine." Philia says, "No way." Mictran says, "I will not lose to you. True prosperity can only be achieved when led by a supreme being." Woodrow says, "Does that mean you're going to reign over this world as an equal to Atimony?" Ruti says, "We don't need you." Philia says, "Atimony should be a natural presence in the human heart." Stan says, "We will decide our own future on our own 2 feet. That's the happiness and joy we live for in this world. We don't need you to tell us what to do." Mictran says, "You impudent! With Atimony's true power, you will be punished by the gods." Stan says, "What the hell is that light?" Dimlo says, "Don't be afraid." "We'll be right by your side," says Clemente. Ictino says, "I'll take care of it." Atwhite says, "Trust in what we've built up so far." Stan says, "Of course, I believe you. I believe in you all. We've tasted the bitter and the sweet together. We are irreplaceable partners," says Ruti. Woodrow says, "We're all of the same mind. We're doing this together." Philia says, "Let's end it this time." Okay. Well, I don't need to heal. We're good. Stan says we finally did it, because I cheated. Anyways, Ruti says, looks like it's over. Woodrow says there's no sign of Mictran anywhere. Philia says we won. Congman says, oh yeah. Mary says we're safe. Chelsea says, Lord Woodrow, I'm so glad. Johnny says I could write the best song ever. Stan says, now all we have to do is get the Eye of Atimony. Stan says, what is this shaking? Clemente says, perhaps Dycroft has begun its descent. Igtino says if we don't destroy it, the entire outer shell will crash into the ground below. Woodrow says, what? The entire hull? Ruti says, we're done for. We did all this for nothing. Philia says, can't you do something about it? Atwhite says, I'm afraid we're going to have to make a last stand. All of you, we need to talk. Get in front of the Eye of Atimony. Dimlo says the only way to stop it is to destroy the Eye. We can do it now. Trust us. I'll explain the procedure. First, we must pierce the Eye of Atimony with the Swordians. We then vibrate our core crystal and the Eye of Atimony in resonance. It will destroy the Eye from within, and in a chain reaction, disintegrate the outer shell as well. Without the Eye, it would be impossible to maintain the outer shell. This way, we can stop the damage to the surface. Stan and the others, after piercing the Eye, leave here immediately. When the Eye of Atimony is destroyed, a tremendous amount of energy will be released. We're going to blow up Dycroft with the Eye of Atimony. Stan says, wait a minute. Clemente says, it's goodbye forever, I guess. Philia says, no way. Atwhite says, it's the only way, you must understand. Ruti says, you never told us about this. Woodrow says, to keep us from changing our minds, perhaps? Stan says, you can't do this. We've come this far, and at the last minute, there's gotta be some other way. Let's go back to the surface together. Dimlo says, you big idiot. You're slowing down my resolve and it could destroy the Earth. As a master, you must do what must be done. Stan says, damn it. Woodrow says, let me go first. My time with you has been short, but you have served the royal family well. Thank you, Igtinos. Igtinos says, glory to Fandaria. Best wishes to you, Woodrow. And he stabs the eye. Philia says, I'll never forget what you taught me. Thanks so much, Clemente. Clemente says, live well, Philia. Ruti says, come to think of it, you and I have known each other a while. Thanks for everything. Atwhite says, it was fun having a sister. It was fun. It was like having a sister. I hope you stay that way forever, Ruti. Shablam. Dimlo says, I no longer have anything to say. I believe in you. Oh my. Stan says, is there really no other way? There is not. It's alright, Stan. We Swordians have lived very long lives. This might not be the best way to say it, but I really enjoyed our time together. As did I. It's true, the more I had to help you, the more you grew on me. This is what I believe. Our fateful meeting and everything that led us to this moment. It's something out of a story. A tale of destiny, if you will. Oh, we're going to use the title name. The future of the world is in your hands, my master Stan. Let us carry out our final mission. Stan says Dimlos. Sorry about the no music, but I don't want to talk over the Japanese voices. That and most of the music in the cutscene seems like it's copy protected anyway, so I would have to delete it one way or the other. 1 year later, Lilith says, it's morning, wake up, big brother. Stan says, good morning, Lilith. Big brother, you've gotten better at sleeping and waking up. Stan says, I can't keep giving you trouble, Lilith. Lilith says, that's boring. Stan continues, besides, it's a special day. I woke up earlier than usual. I see. I hope we can all get together. Me too, says Stan. It's Mr. Twice Slice. He's here to destroy me. Kongman says, hey Stan, you're looking good. Thanks, Kongman. I'm really happy to see you all again like this. Huh? Woodrow, did you start growing a beard? Ahem, everyone recommended I did it. Do you think it suits me? Stan says, it's cool. It'll look even better when it's longer. Chelsea says, that's right. King Woodrow is the best. Stan says, what are you up to these days? Chelsea says, living with Grandpa. I'm ready for bow practice, bride training, and friendly competition. Stan laughs and says, I'm glad to see you doing well too, Mary. If you'd like, you can come visit in Cyril. I'm sure Dallas would be happy to see you. Sounds good. If you happen to drop by Newstot, you better hit up the arena. Oh, Kongman, they let you be the champion again? He says, you betcha, my might is eternal. Stan says, Johnny, you're a godfather now, right? Johnny says, you remembered. It was a girl, so I named her after my mother. She's certain to grow into a woman of unparalleled beauty. Stan says, Philia, you seem a little different, like you're just a little more grown up. Philia says, is that so? I'm not sure myself. Kongman says, Philia has grown more and more lovely, of course. Philia says, thanks. Stan says, it's really been a year. Philia says, I want us to all meet at my house 1 year from today. When you said that, Stan, I wasn't sure if it could happen. I was a little worried, but seems we all had the time. It's proof that the world is at peace. Stan says, Ruti couldn't make it, huh? Who are you looking for, Stan? It's just, I kinda hoped Ruti would be here, but doesn't look like she's gonna make it. What makes you think that, says Philia. Because she up and vanished about a year ago. In the end, I never got to hear her answer after all. Philia says, so? They all say the same thing. So. Stan says, what are you all staring at? Ruti says, what do you mean? Ruti, look out below. Stan has his face smashed into the ground and says, where did you come from? It doesn't matter. Good grief, you're pathetic, says Ruti. Did you really think I wasn't coming just 'cause of that? I think you owe me an apology. Anyone would think so after you vanished like that, says Stan. I have my reasons. I came all the way to prepare for this. Stan says, huh? What? Ruti says, that's right. I'm ready to answer you now, bitch. Ruti says, everyone, listen up. I, Ruti, and this idiot next to me, Stan. Starting today, we're going on a journey together. Stan says, what? I don't know what's going to happen next, but from now on, we're in this together. Come on, Stan, take a bow. What? Okay, sure. Philia says, take care of each other, Stan and Ruti. Woodrow says, I'm looking forward to your success. Mary says, good luck. Kongman says, come and get me if you run into any trouble. Johnny says, timing is everything, you know. Chelsea says, you two are perfect for each other. Stan says, aw, shucks, guys, come on. What can I say, you know? Ha ha ha. Oh no. Alright. And so, since then, the world has slowly been recovering. The formation of the Aether Sphere took its toll, and it'll probably be a while before everything's completely back to normal. Even now, we humans still make mistakes. We still lose our way sometimes. I reckon there'll still be times when we're sad or disheartened. But in those times, all we need to do is keep our chin up and soldier on. We were trusted to ensure a happy future, and I think we're up to the task. I know I'm not the most reliable person, but still, please keep watching over us from wherever you are. Leon, Riker, Shaltier, Ignitos, Clemente, Atwhite, and you too, Dimlos. To my irreplaceable friends, from far beneath the sky, signed Stan Elleron. Oh my. Well, I'm gonna mute this, cause... ugh, I have to cut out the music anyway.